What's going on YouTube? Today we're taking a look at a very cool bike computer from the guys over at Shanren. This is Miles, and Miles is completely different from any other computer that might be on the market right now. It has power estimation built right into it. As someone who's dabbled in the idea of a power meter, but then when I looked more into it, definitely out of my price range and not something that I was super interested in. Not something that I really wanted to invest in. Well, now with Miles, that investment is built in right to the computer itself. So when you pair it up to a cadence sensor, you're going to get some pretty accurate power estimation readings. Also gives you some tail light control. So if you have a tail light like the Raz Pro, you're going to be able to see that control right on the device itself. And let me tell you, it's an awesome LED light that if you ride in a Peloton, all your lights will be in sync. If you just ride with 2 or 3 other people, these lights will be in sync. And as you stop, you can see the light stops as well, just to let oncoming traffic or other cyclists know that you are about to stop. But the light is super cool. That's another product for another day. This being a bike computer, you'd expect N+ and Bluetooth devices to connect. So get out your heart rate monitors, get that cadence sensor, get that speed sensor, and connect it all right to Miles. Again, let's go ahead, check it out together, and see what it's all about. As you can see, I've already been using it, but what I like about this computer is, again, if I show you this light, it kind of does sync up if you do have their Raz Pro light. So when this blinks, it's going to blink over here as well. When you do slow down on your bike, it's going to slow down the light and stop it from flashing and give you a solid light at that. This way oncoming traffic or other cyclists will know that you're stopping. So again, I really like their light, but I'm going to turn it off because it is kind of bright and it is kind of getting in my way of this review. But this is Miles, guys, and if you take a look at it, I think they developed and designed a really modern looking device. I really like the way that this looks. It's a sleek profile, it's a modern profile that sits nicely on your bike and really doesn't get in the way of anything else that might be on your handlebars. I have a customizable display that I'll show you in just a little bit. And for size comparison, just to show you that against my 1030 Plus here, definitely a lot smaller. Some of the things that I really like about Miles, this was super readable in direct sunlight. And of course, if you ride at night or go in a tunnel or go somewhere where there might not be a lot of light, the backlight does a really nice job of illuminating everything, and you never really have to strain your eyes to see what's on this screen. So they did a really nice job when it comes to the screen quality on the Miles computer here. I've set the backlight to constant on. You can have it on auto or you can have it off. Again, this is all fully customizable. But at the top of Miles here, you get a little static information about your GPS signal strength. Me being inside, you're not going to see any GPS. But when you're out riding, I think it's pretty cool to be able to see your signal strength, to see if you're really locked onto that GPS signal. You'll see your Bluetooth indicator there. You'll see your Raz Pro light right there, your time. You'll see the weather, constant information about your weather, and also the battery life. Now, speaking of battery life, Shanren claim about 25 hours. I actually got about 16 and change on this. So again, I think it's very respectable for a bike computer. And over here, you'll be able to change information like whether you're riding on a road bike or if you're riding on a mountain bike. And you can see the amount of time that you've been traveling. Here's your elevation. Now, what's really cool about Miles is you do have a built-in barometric altimeter. So this is going to give you more accurate readings about your elevation and whatnot. But really, it's all about this power estimation. You can see your power information right at the middle of the screen. And I'll show you all of this in just a little bit. And then at the bottom here, you'll be able to see your speed, be able to see what sensors you have connected. I do have a speed sensor and a cadence sensor, but they're not connected at the moment. And then you also can change up. You have a couple different pages, 3 different pages that you can customize. So over here, I kind of switched it to see my slope, see my elevation gain and whatnot. And if you click on that again, you'll be able to see your total miles that you've ridden. And if you do have a power meter connected, if you have some pedals, you'll see your left and right percentage right over there. Going back to page 1, that's where you'll see everything. Now going back over to this Shanren application here, you can connect your devices. So I do have that light and the Miles computer connected. Going into the actual Miles computer, you can change up these data fields. You can change a whole bunch of different things on the computer. So there's that backlight. You can actually change the output setting if you want to increase that brightness or lower it. Look at that. So it really does get super bright if you want it to. You can leave it on auto, which is what I usually do when I'm out riding. Now here's your bike settings. In order to get that power estimation, you do have to look up your wheel size and you do have to go in and set that via this table. This way you're going to get a more accurate power estimation. And again, pairing this to a cadence sensor is the best way to get the most accurate estimations from that power setting. Going into customizable settings here, this is where you can change those data points right at the top. So if you click on one, you can change it from moving time to your slope. If you click on the other one, trip distance, elevation. Here's your power information, so you can change that to cadence, power, or left and right balance. And you can do the same on that right field. You can have your heart rate showing or your normalized power. On the bottom, that's your constant miles per hour information that you cannot change. You can do the same over here, guys, with 3 different screens. So again, if you want different screens, you can go in and customize them depending on how you want the data to be shown to you. Now here's your scenario. You can change it as well, outdoor riding or indoor riding. So if you have this paired up with maybe a stationary bike, you can go ahead and change that setting. And then again, here's your power estimation. So you got to pair it with a cadence sensor, input your weight, and then the type of bike that you're on, and it's going to give you that power information. And again, I'm really happy to see that power information. It just means that I get some more stats than I know what to do with, and I always like that as well. You can link it with Strava. For those of you that like Strava, you can go ahead and do that as well. You can also calibrate your elevation here, change your units to metric or imperial. And then for satellite, you can have GPS, GPS plus BDS, GPS and GLONASS. There's a bunch of different options when it comes to that satellite information. And of course, being able to auto-update a device is something I really like, so you can update that firmware very quickly. And that's basically it when it comes to all of the settings, but I like this bike computer. I think they did a really nice job with this computer. To show you some of the stats here, I'm going to show you a bike ride that I did. So the MILES computer recorded it at 62.57 miles. My Garmin 6X Sapphire recorded at 63.04, and the 1030 Plus recorded at 62.84 miles. So I think Shanren did a nice job. It's within range of all the other devices here. And coming back to the application, you can see a little map of where you actually rode. And if we zoom in, you can see it did a nice job of keeping me within the road here. So the GPS definitely did lock on and was able to maintain a nice accurate depiction of where I actually was riding. So if we take a look at that, no problems with that whatsoever, guys. I think MILES did a really nice job when it comes to GPS accuracy. It took me off just a little bit there, but again, a lot of trees and whatnot, that's to be expected. But if I show you a ride I did in the city, I was actually really impressed with the ride in the city. Usually GPS computers are all over the place when I'm going through these tall buildings and whatnot, but you can see MILES kind of kept me on 6th Avenue. I actually did a really nice job. Went off just a little bit there, but you can see for the most part kept me within the streets. So the GPS accuracy, the GPS lock did a really nice job. Well done to Shanren for that. So again, if we take a look at these stats for my bike ride, you'll get some information here. So you see your total time, your moving time, start and end time. There's your average speed, there's your elevation, and then here's your average power. Again, it's all about the power estimation. So you can see my average power, max power, your normalized power, training stress score, intensity factor, variable index, and then there's your functional threshold power right down there as well. So again, a lot of fun stats about your power without having to pay that huge amount of money for a power meter. Go into the activity record again, you can see your speed and elevation. And what I like about this as well, you can see how much of your ride was on flat roads, downhill, or uphill. I think that's just a little bit of fun information to know about your rides, especially as you go on longer rides. And there's your power, your average power, and your max power. Going into laps. This is something I wish that MILES would do. I wish it would copy Garmin and just do auto laps, but you do have to manually type in those laps, and that's not something I'm about to do when I'm riding. So I would like to see auto laps maybe in a future update. And one more thing I just want to show you guys, if you do have a cadence sensor connected, you will get more information about your ride. So you'll see your average cadence and your max cadence right over there. And again, that's going to give you a more accurate power estimation when you pair it up with a cadence sensor. So I just want to show you that there, guys. You can see your cadence information, normal, low if you are on high cadence, ultra high, etc., etc. So I definitely like it. I recommend pairing it with cadence. Definitely something you guys should do. Here's the little click mount that I would recommend when you have one of these bike computers, because it just means that it's out front and it's less in your way. Definitely an accessory that I would recommend for you. And I also recommend MILES. If you're looking for an affordable computer, again, at $70, I think they did a really nice job giving you accurate readings, a lot of statistics, and you also get that power estimation built right in. But let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. For me, I really like this product again, and I think it's something you guys should pick up alongside one of their lights, because these lights are super, super cool. I appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.